Going in depth tonight on the constitutional carry bill, you heard there in that report the aspect that Governor McMaster wants to see passed as part of this legislation. Well, yesterday we sat down with Upstate Senator Josh Kimbrell about this issue, and he represents Spartanburg, and he says he's concerned that they may not be able to pass what the governor wants to see. There's an aspect to it that Governor McMaster really wanted about increasing penalties for illegal gun use and possession. He had tweeted out late last week saying that the public is losing confidence, and so is he, because the House now refused the changes that the Senate made to legislation. So where do we go from here?
Well, look, I mean, we actually were able to pass for the first time ever in both chambers permitless carry. If the goal was to actually get permitless carry, we got that. Governor McMaster and state law enforcement for years have been asking for enhanced felon possession penalties. And in the Senate, we felt like those two needed to travel together to get the votes necessary to overcome a filibuster. So for folks who really wanted to get constitutional carry, which, I mean, look, I was an early sponsor of that. The only way we could get the votes mustered together in the Senate was to have those two things travel together, enhanced felon and possession penalties for people who are committing crimes, but still drop the permit requirement for law-abiding citizens. I'm disappointed that we're in a fight between the House and the Senate over this, because we really had a chance to get 2 for 1 here. We could have fulfilled the governor and law enforcement's request about going after people who are repeat offenders with illegal possession, and at the same time reward law-abiding carry. So it's a sad thing that we're in another standoff between the House and the Senate, but I'm hopeful that we'll be able to resolve that. I'm going to do my best this week to try to bridge that gap if possible.
Does it seem like we're going to have to go forward with 2 different pieces of legislation, or do you think they can still hold together?
Well, no, the only way this is going to pass the Senate is if you have the enhanced felon in possession. It'd be very clear. There were 2 or 3 senators. I voted for constitutional carry as what they called a clean bill that would have left that out. I support enhanced felon in possession legislation separately, but it was added to this bill because of 3 or 4 votes we needed in the Senate to actually pass constitutional carry. Those folks weren't going to vote for it unless you had that language added. So ultimately, I don't feel like there's a way to separate that and still get it through the Senate. So that was why, in spite of the fact it wasn't a clean version that many folks wanted, I was hopeful the House would at least concur and move us down the field toward getting, essentially getting to where we have permitless carry. And then if people wanted to clean it up at a conference committee or something, that'd have been fine. But if we just get in a standoff like this, nothing's going to happen one way or the other.
Now, as this back and forth continues between the House and the Senate, we'll be sure to follow it very closely every step of the way for you right here on Fox Carolina News.